Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I am once again running out of places to sit for another Joann's haul. This is going to be a twofer. I went to two different Joann stores, but this is going to be my final Joann's haul video. I know my channel is all over the place with all kinds of different Halloween and sewing and craft content, and then also all the movie and kind of podcasty things that I kind of do also. I'm all over the place. Um, but can't really keep doing these Joann shopping hauls anymore. Spent my limit, number one, and got everything that I need. I don't need to go back to the store. They did have giant 20-pound boxes of polyfill, which part of me was like, oh, I would absolutely use that. But I was like, yeah, I don't need it right now. That's too huge. That's a bit too much. um, but I did get everything that I needed. Did get some good sales, some good discounts now that it's the final month, that there are some better pricing things that are happening. So I was able to I went there initially thinking I didn't really need anything, or I was only picking, choosing that I knew I needed specific things. But now I have definitely restocked my entire craft closet where I'm not going to be needing anything for the foreseeable future. What I had spent in the material that I got here can replace my wardrobe, so I don't need to be thrifting or buying anything else anymore. So I may as well just dive in. First, I started out over there and it got kind of mixed in with the kids' stuff, and my sewing table is filled with stuff, so then everything's been getting dumped on my chair. So I went to the smaller Joann fabric down by the shore last week. I thought that one would be closing sooner, but it seemed like it had more stock and more deals. And then I actually went up to the city to the further bigger one. They seemed more like they were less stocked, that they were closing off a lot of the store and a lot more of the fixtures were for sale. But yet it seemed like they didn't have maybe as many discounts or prices, but things are getting good. A lot of the fabric was 50-60% off. So I'm not a yarn person, but all of a sudden there was an explosion of yarn everywhere, that they had lots of yarn. Um, the thing about going to these kind of sales, you pick up things maybe you wouldn't normally necessarily buy, or like I said, okay, I know polyfill you can get places, so I didn't need to buy the giant box of polyfill, as opposed to some of the other little finite kind of fabric and sewing kind of notions and things. This, I'll start with this because that's a separate thing. This giant board here is one of these cardboard, foldable, layoutable cutting mats, measuring kind of things. And for the regular $35 price, this is not something I would buy, because I can't leave it laid out on my floor all the time because of lovely cat scratchy kind of fingers. And it would fit across my sewing table, actually. But again, I just have everything else piled up on top of my sewing table. But for like the $17, I guess 50% off. It's like, hey, you know what? Yeah, for $17, all of a sudden, hey, you know what? When I do have a big project, a big Civil War ball gown where I do need to measure out my box pleats properly, hey, yeah, okay, I can unfold this and use it across the floor when I need it, and then I can fold it up and put it away. I think, for the higher price, you would think, oh, this is something that I have to use, that would have to be there all the time and ready and versatile and worth the price. But for the lesser price, it's like, okay, you know what? This just becomes another tool. That is something that when I need it, it's there, that I have. I mean, I guess somebody could make one of these if you had a lot of cardboard and you were a really precision person. I'm not a precision person. I've posted on Blue Sky on the KBats Crafts account where a lot of times I don't even do measurements when I trace out all of my little scrap fabric patterns. When I retrace the patterns with all kinds of messy scrap paper, a lot of times I don't make all the marks and measurements. I just kind of do the math. And I'm sure that finite, meticulous people, that probably drives them crazy. They did have patterns on sale at this point, 70%. And there's been a lot of things about eventually they have to pull and destroy patterns. But I don't need sewing patterns, especially. I just got another new little container, plastic drawer storage that was the perfect size to just organize all my patterns. So with all the fabric that I have, I'm really decided I can basically go through, you know what, I'm just going to make every one of these patterns. So I haven't gotten any patterns. I did get a lot more remnants, as I saw. I'm wearing little blue earrings. This is the time of year that I actually do wear blues, wear navy. I have navy pants and I have a navy blouse, but I was like, ooh, a navy skirt. Maybe I could actually make a navy skirt. And this is going to be really messy because I don't know where I'm going to put all this stuff as I'm going through. This one was impulsive. And, you know, looking at some of these receipts, the remnants did have extra more prices. So some of these were only a couple dollars. This is some kind of skull and rose print, which it's not the nice softy kind of fuzzy. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with this, but I just thought it was really pretty and cheap. I guess it'll probably end up being a pillow, but so what? Ooh, more black remnants. This is just a kind of mixed poly rayon. I actually started a sewing project. Again, I posted more on Blue Sky. I'm trying to get off of the Doopy Instagram, where I actually didn't line a project because I didn't quite have the right lining for it. And I was going to do another project in black, and I was like, I need the right kind of lining. So these kind of little black fabrics things to me, I will always use. And for a couple dollars, why not? Oh, I did get... Oh, here's my receipt from this excursion. Yeah, that navy was originally a $19.99 a yard and had been marked down to $7.22 and rang up $1.80. So for $1.80, I couldn't buy a navy skirt, so that's not so bad. All these little trims, of course, as folks may have seen in some of my other sewing escapades, my niece loves yellows and golds. So these had been marked down 60 or 70% off. So for $1 and some a piece, I thought I will probably use tassels on the tips of little girl costume hoods or something. I did get some trims at the smaller Joann's because they were 70% off, and this is all that there were, maybe a yard or two on the little racks. So these kind of a little cape tie of gold, or this kind of little, you know, border for a hem or something, just, if I were planning a costume and budgeting a costume, I would have to calculate carefully, okay, the extra for the trim, because I mean, sometimes the trims are just as expensive as the fabric. I mean, $20 a yard. But when I saw them for this, it's like, ooh, this is great to just have something fun on hand, where she actually will open the drawer and say, ooh, I want this shiny thing. So encouraging kind of the kid kind of creativity with the little bargain stuff. I did also get... Yes, this seems like a lot. I think this might have been 4 yards maybe, but it had been way marked down. And obviously it's a yellow fringe. And I had previously, when I was making her Christmas costume and I was looking for yellow fringe, I thought, I know I had yellow fringe. What did I do with the yellow fringe? And then I sat down and said, oh yes, I used the yellow fringe. So I got more yellow fringe. Gold tassels. Oh, the tassels were $1.14 each. That Halloween skull print was 91 cents. So if I get a pillow for 91 cents, that's not bad. Gold metallic fringe, $3.55. That's not bad. That's not bad for this, for a kid to have fun and feel regal and enchanting. And I'm getting glitter or sparkles or something all over myself here with this. Obviously, she's also into unicorns. And obviously most of the cookie cutters and chocolate molds that I have are all Halloween. You know, one time I did make a nice little cookie assortment. My mother said, what are these little chocolate little pieces in between? And I said, they're bones. Okay, they're little white chocolate bones. That was the only chocolate mold I had. And obviously, I'm not so sure, folks, about that, just the unicorn horn. Little chocolate mold, but the little unicorn heads to make, you know, a much more child-friendly little candies for Christmas. Okay. And again, at the store, you get things you think you need, you grab by. I did grab by, I know expressly, because I've said before, my budget was $100. And I went over at this one because I did buy, they had like a stuffed animal that came with a little sleep mask and a little rolled up little blankie. And I was like, okay, it was like $18. Like, all right, I'll save that for Christmas. But then, hooks and eyes. You know, I've gotten grab bags that have had hooks and eyes. I've gotten other little markdown ones that have had all different hooks and snaps in them. And this is one of the things that I use so much. And then I'm like, oh, why don't I have, you know, a heavy duty black, you know, hook and eye clip? It's like, oh, well, because I already used them on all my skirts. So more hooks and eyes. Ooh, now fabric. I did get fabric for myself, folks. I had gotten kid-friendly fabric before, and then, so this is fabric for me. These were, the yards were on a couple different bolts and a couple different pieces, and part of me wants to make just a nice pair of slacks or a nice pair of matching vests, but then part of me is also like, ooh, stripes, that would look really great as like a 1840s type gown. But, this was $7 a yard. That's not bad. And this last time, because I went over, $121 was my total, and it said you saved $165. So yay, that's not bad. So I have patterns for making slacks, and I need to keep replacing some of my clothes now that are getting threadbare, ripped, and torn up. I keep reducing clothes to, okay, this can be a pillow, or okay, this is now exercisey stuff. Okay, this is threadbare. I can just, you know, use it, scrap stuff. But I need to replace those kind of clothes. So black stripe, black and gray stripe, and a really awesome black and orange stripe, which of course probably will be an awesome skirt, an awesome blouse. I feel like, I know I've got some goofy 70s patterns in there that were in a grab bag that are really cutesy kind of overall kind of jumper type things, where I think this fabric would be kind of a lot of fun. Yay. Lots of fabric for me. And then once I realized that I had this fabric, I had that lovely Halloween checkered fabric that I got previously. I realized I only had those orange thrift sheets to line a lot of this material. And then I didn't have enough to, I posted about it on Blue Sky, the orange tablecloth skirt. So yes, I'm buying real nice quality fabric. And then yes, I'm still making skirts out of tablecloths. Don't ask. But, so I did get this whole bolt today at the larger Joann's. They still had a lot of fabric. They still had a lot of yarn. I have to message a couple of my author friends who are into that big twist material. This was just a nice orange, I don't know what, knit twill, or knit chiffon. There's the word I couldn't think. And again, just as a nicer, softer lining on some of the things that I'm doing. This was the whole bolt that was rolled out, so they just folded it back up. I don't understand why, as of now, I'm doing this the first week of May. I don't understand why they still have cutting counters, why everything just isn't, okay, sealed up, this is the price, this is how many things are on it, and that's that. It seems really unfair to the employees that they're still making them cut and check everything. I mean, this was a whole 10-yard bolt that the poor wonderful lady still had to open up and undo and count. So I'm stocked now on that lining, and I did get, ooh, I have a whole other, not done yet, folks. I have a whole other bag here. I did get another Black Remnant costume knit, again, that I will use. Ooh, a couple more remnants in here. A horse print for my sister. And I think I've said before, I've linked some of their pictures, the Hit the Stars horse therapy program. Of course, a lovely cat print fabric, and some of this little yellow golden kind of satin for my niece. I know I had gotten a couple of the pre-measured Walmart yards before of this kind of material, but again, for little skirts, for little liners, you know, cute capes and everything for a kid. This I did spend more at this one. Sorry. I also got some tea from my Tumblr on my receipt. Sorry, folks. And I feel like maybe this one didn't have as much of these other percentages or other markdowns or something, but so a lot of fabric was 50 or 60% off, but I'm not sure if they had the extra 50% off of a whole bolt type thing or not. So this one I spent $140, because I said, you know what, I'm not coming here again. I'm getting what I need to get, and what I need to get is orange liners and black liners. and I knocked over some of my stuff. It says I saved $213. So, okay, what was the little remnants though? $1.50. 93 cents for the cat fabric. The horse fabric was 75 cents. That little gold strip was 35 cents. So, okay, there's definitely an extra percentage off of remnants, that's for sure. Oh, I got Advent candles, because this is something when you think you have more and then Advent comes and then you never have them. And I don't want to have to go to the hobby place to get those. No, sorry. That's why I'm stocking up now, because I don't like having to go to the other hobby place when I find I'm in a project and I do need something. These, again, star motifs, Battistella, it just fits. These are different little wooden, assorted size little craft stars. You know, if I have some other kind of project, my sister has some kind of project, just something fun and versatile. I actually just did a star-themed project for Search Magazine. You'll probably see that in the fall, I think. Next issue, I have a different DIY out there now. I guess I'll link to some of all that information below. Ooh, my receipt. The Christmas was 70% off. So I got some more of these different ribbons. Again, I kept thinking about some of the different trims or different ties and things that I might need. And I realized, you know, I don't really have a lot of green trim. Yes, I have a lot of red, and I did get gold before, but... Oh, and this was a black ribbon. At first I wasn't sure what this was, and then I saw an open one of it that had already had this sort of, it's both velvet and has a nice little satin border, so I was like, ooh, black trim, oh yes, oh yes. Orange thread. I do have a really awesome orange thread that I got in a thrift bag. That's the thread that I've been using. It was a thrift grab bag, and it's called Brique, B-R-I-Q-U-E. It has the old-fashioned little label on the inside, but it's kind of the more rusty orange, which so far has actually matched all the orange projects that I've done, but I kind of thought some of the other orange I got was a little more vibrant, and I wasn't sure if I had enough different oranges to match. I thought I might need it in the future, so, and strangely, because I have a giant button jar that I got at the thrift store. I was with my niece one day. She's like, look at that giant jar of buttons. And I was like, oh. But surprisingly, maybe not so surprisingly, it is seriously lacking. I think there was one orange button that I used. So the buttons, somewhere in here, aha, there are, oh, I have a hole in my bag. Good thing I didn't lose the little buttons. Their jewelry was 70% off, but was already really picked over. And I really didn't need any more jewelry things, but I did see these little rose gold or coppery kind of little toggles, and I thought, oh, what kind of copper tone kind of clasps do I have? So I got some of those, and yes, surprisingly, believe it or not, I don't have orange buttons. So, well, okay, I'll use orange buttons now. I did get another little jewelry case, actually, because I had been getting at the Dollar Tree all the small ones, so I ended up having now 4 or 5 of just little ones that are maybe a third of this size that are kind of overflowing, and the big beads don't fit in them. I have to keep using them for smaller and smaller things. So I was like, okay, for the $5, I'll actually get a large size one that's actually substantial enough to hold all of the larger buttons. Oh my lord. The larger beads. Okay, I've been in phases where I've been doing some jewelry things, which I wrote about on my blog, and now I've been doing sewing things, and I went a little crazy also and got this orangey buffalo check. I feel like I'm going to replace my whole wardrobe with just black and orange, which, hey man, okay, like, I feel like the world is ending, so we may as well wear what we want to wear. So, all right, you know, everybody who likes their regular buffalo check, of course I have to just go a little off-center. My father says I march to the beat of a different drummer. He also says I probably would have been burned at the stake in 1692. And I'm like, Dad, you can't say things like that now. Oh, they did have a little markdown orange paint, which, again, I probably had a different orange paint, but for $1, I was like, oh, okay, I'll get an orange paint. Oh, these little black strands were just broken from some kind of plant thing that was there. And I was like, oh, and I put them in my cart, and I was going to ask about them, and then I never did. And when I took my umbrella out of my cart, I was like, oh, hey, these are still in there. And I was like, ooh, oh well. Oh well. Um, oh yes. I did get some black liner because I do also have a whole drawer of black cotton already, plain black cotton. This was just that kind of satin kind of flannel. So instead of some of those lighter weight kind of remnant black knits, I usually use those to line blouses. This is something that's just maybe slightly heavier for some of the big skirts that I've made. So, and again, for some reason it was on maybe 2 bolts or was in 2 pieces or something. But that was my goal actually at this time. I thought, okay, I'm going to have to spend what I spend because I'm going to be getting the full bolts, and now I can't spend any more. So I have my black and orange, and I have all the fabrics to match. So depending on how bold I want to be, I could have something that can look maybe just autumn neutral, and then you see a wild orange print underneath, or there could be something that could be crazy orange that I may have to kind of cut and subdue with something black. But hey, style, man. Oh, and I did get this cute little purple with black dots cotton because we've been in my orange polka dot phase, and I do have black and white polka dot, but when I actually got my drawers reorganized to make some orange and yellow compartments, I actually realized my purple drawer was actually kind of low. I thought maybe I haven't been in a purple phase, but I thought this is really cute. And was like, yes, okay, you know what? I need a purple and black polka dot skirt. And last, I did get something for someone else. This was 4 yards, I think, of a clearance markdown cocoa. It's funny that you just don't see a lot of cocoa merchandise around, which surprises me because I think it's a wonderful, adorable little movie, and I don't really love a lot of Disney Pixar. So I may make just maybe a little duvet cover or some pillowcases out of this. This is a softer kind of cotton. When we had our very closest small old Joann's close several years ago, I had gotten a whole bowl of Lord of the Rings material that I did entire bedding of, and I had gotten a whole bolt of Minecraft material actually at Goodwill a long time ago that I made another set. So I guess our next our next little duvet is going to be cocoa. Is that everything in my bag? Yes, my bag is empty. So goodbye Joann's now. If I had a Joann's closer to me, I probably would be going here every week, just pittering around, just buying little things, watching maybe. Actually, when Blockbuster closed and we had a Blockbuster around the corner, I went every week. And yeah, the things that they had 50 copies of, I would watch and wait until they got less and less and the price went down and down. So I guess for some of the things that were notions, which I guess everything in the store, I think at least seemed 50% off now. So all the other kind of little notions and finite things, maybe are starting to be worth the price now. But obviously I don't think they're going to be there for that many weeks, maybe 3-4 more weeks, the rest of May. So I don't need to go again. If they were closer, I would, but they're further away. So gas and costs here, I have definitely reached my budgets here. And I have to get all this stuff organized. I've been eking away at all the junk that's back there on my sewing table, which means I haven't been doing as many writing and video things. I do have some other podcasts, guest podcast things that I think may be coming out shortly. I'm not sure. So I'll link to some of the previous projects and some of the other thrift hauls and things that I've done. And yeah, I still post the project photos on Facebook and Instagram, just because Meta just seems to have the best place for kind of picture albums where you can kind of see all the project's progress as it's going to, I don't know, inspire or see how things have been done in my loony way. But I wish there was a better place to kind of chat or share more photos. So I have been posting more things on Blue Sky at KBets Crafts. So now I have to continue to keep actually showing and making all these projects because now I have all this material. There's no excuse now not to get the job done, right? So it's I guess it's kind of sad. I guess Joann's going has inspired me, but We have to find our inspiration wherever we can find it these days. So yeah, stay safe in your shopping and your crafting, folks. Bye.